Okay. So yesterday I said you about working with while loop, right? Okay, I said how to work with the while loop, and even we started working with for, right? So what for loop will do is, okay, I said yesterday the syntax is actually for loop is used for reading one value or item from a collection or iterable. So you can read one or each time it will read one value. What for loop will do is each time it will read one value from collection or iterable. After reading each value, it will execute what statements. So this will repeat it how many times until it read all the values. It will repeat this how many times until it read all the values. So it read the first value and execute statement. Read the second value and assign to this variable. What is x here? Variable. Okay. Read the first value and assign to x and print it. Read second value and assign to x and print it. Read third value and assign to x and print it. Read fourth value and assign to x and print it. So what it is doing each time, it is reading one value and assigning to this variable and executing this statement. Okay. So it is also called as for each. This is also called as for each. For each means this is very much useful when you're working with collections. This is very much useful when you're working with the collections like list, set, dictionaries, right? For example, suppose assume that there is one list like this. Okay, assume that this is a list. So this is actually called as a list. You learn this, don't worry. So this is called as what here list, and this list contain how many values here? 5 values. Okay, this is a list and this list contain how many values here? 5 values are there. And if you want to read each time one value, then what I can do is I can use for loop. For you are reading and storing value in which variable? N. Each time you are reading value, what you're doing each time you are reading a value and you are storing that value into which variable? N. For N in, I'm saying list 1. So what is the meaning of this? From list 1, each time it will read one value. What is the first value in the list 1? 10. Now 10 is assigned to variable N. Okay, 10 is assigned to the variable N. So if you press enter, now you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Then read the second value and assign to a variable N. Then read the third value and assign to a variable N. Read the fourth value and assign to a variable N. And read the fifth value and assign to a variable N. So after reading individual values is executing what? Statement. So it means for loop is used only with which one? Collections. Collections are what is that? Data structures. Let us see some of the things, but this you learn in detail when you're working with what year list. But meanwhile, just try to understand how to use the for loop. I'll try to tell you example by using string. Okay, string is also one collection. String is also one collection. So the name of the variable is X. What is the name of the variable X in within double quotes? Whatever you write in the double quotes, it is called as what? String. So from list you are reading each value and storing in n and then printing it. Reading second value and then printing it. Reading third value and printing it. Reading fourth value, then after that printing it. Reading fifth value, after that you are printing it. Here also you read first value. What is the first value in Python? P. And after reading each value, what you are doing again? Printing it. Which operation you want to do it? Which operation you want to do it? You just perform that. Which operation you want to do it? You just perform that. For example, assume that so it is used on collections. For example, suppose write a program. Write a program to count. Write a program to count vowels. I want to write a program to count vowels in a given string. So I want to write a program to count what here? Vowels. I want to count vowels in a given string. So how can I do this? I want to know how many vowels are there in the string. So what I have to do first is I have to read one string. Okay, I have to read one string input. So by default input, read the value as a string or not? Yes. Okay, yes. So input, I'm saying here enter. Okay, input enter any string. Okay, so first I'm reading the string. After reading the string, from this string, I have to read each time one character. From this string, each time I should read one character. Okay. So what I have to do for you're reading each time one character and you are storing that character into one variable, or you are assigning that character into one variable. What is this variable here? CH. See, variable name can be anything because variable names are predefined or user defined. Variable names are not predefined, right? Variable names are what? User defined. So for ch in str1, for example, my string is Java. What is my string here? Java. So this Java is assigned to which variable? str1. From str1, this for loop, each time it will read one character. What is the first character in Java? J. This J is assigned to what here? CH. Then I have to check, is it this J is vowel or not? Okay. So if this character, or I can check the condition like this, if the character equal to A, or if the character equal to what? E, then only it is what? Vowel. A-E-I-O-U, then only it is what? Vowel. Instead of using this number of comparisons, directly I can use which operator? In operator. If the character in any one of this, like A, E, I, O, U, A, E, I, O, U. So if the character is equal to any one of this, so in operator in this case, if you are using if with the in operator, it will search this character inside these characters. Okay, is it this character is there inside these characters? What is the character? What is the first character? J. Is it J is there inside these characters? No. Okay, then read the next character. What is the next character? A. So what is the value of CH now? A. Is it A is there in this group of characters? Yes. Then I have to count it, right? Okay, I have to count it. So I need to declare one variable. What is that variable? Count. So count start from where? 0. So if it is vowel, I'll say count plus equal to 1. Count plus equal to 1 is nothing but count equal to count plus 1. So count becomes what now? 1. Then read the next character. What is the next character? V. Is it V is there in this group of characters? No. Then read the next character. What is the next character? A. Is it A is there in this group of characters? Yes. Count becomes what? 2. Is it any characters are there? No. So for loop is executed how many times until it read all the values. Now tell me how many times this for loop is executed? In this case, Java, no? How many times this for loop is executed? How many times? The string is having how many characters? 4 characters. So this for loop is executed how many times? 4 times. Okay, how many times? Because every time it will read one character. So total how many characters are there? 4 characters. So this for loop read how many characters? 4. Means how many times executed? 4 times. So each time it will read one character and then check the condition. Read the next character and check the condition. Read the next character and check the condition. Read the next character and check the condition. Then print here. After the for loop, print. Print count of vowels. Count of vowels. I print what? C value. So this is a message and this is a value of which variable? C. The value of variable C. So once you run this, enter any string which is Java. So number of vowels are how many here? 2. 2 vowels are there. Okay, enter any string. The string is Python. How many vowels are there here? 1. So O is there, right? Okay. Yes. So it means if you want to read a value from a group of values, if you want to read a value from a group of values and perform certain operations, then you can use what here? For loop. So that is what I'm telling you is most of the times it is used on what? Collections. Collections. Okay, collections are what is called as data structures. For example, yes, these are the examples just to understand how to use which one here? For loop. For example, write a program. Suppose write a program to count. Count how many alphabets, count how many alphabets, comma digits, count how many alphabets, comma digits and special characters and special characters. Special characters exist within string. So write a program to count how many alphabets, how many alphabets are there, how many digits are there, and how many special characters are there inside the string. How many alphabets are there, how many digits are there, and how many special characters are there within the string. So how can you count this? So again, you have to read the string. For example, it is like this. Suppose string is ABC123 $. So in this, how many alphabets are there? Three alphabets. How many digits are there? Three digits. How many special characters are there? One special character. Okay, so how many alphabets are there? Three alphabets. How many digits are there? Three digits. How many special characters are there? One special character. Now this is how it is, right? Three alphabets and three digits and one special character. So this is how it is. Now, how can you do this? Again, read one string. Okay, so str1 is the name of the variable. Then I'm saying input, enter any what? String. So read one string. Input, enter any string. After reading the string is assigned to which variable? str1. Then I need to declare some variables. Okay, count 1, count 1 equal to 0, count to 2 equal to 0, count to 3 equal to what? 0. So why? Because count to 1 is alphabets count, count to 2 is what? Digits count, and count to 3 is what? Special character count. But here I write how many statements? 3 statements. But instead of writing 3 statements, I can write C1 comma C2 comma C3 equal to, I can write 0 comma 0 comma 0. C1 comma C2 comma C3 equal to 0 comma 0 comma 0. So we are assigning multiple values to multiple variables. The value of C1 is what? 0. The value of C2 is what? 0. The value of C3 is also 0. You can write like this. Then what I have to do? I have to read each time one character. So declare one variable. Any variable name can be anything, right? But it should be meaningful. Because of that, I'm saying CH. CH means one character. Okay. So for character in, what is this here? str1. For example, the string is ABC, AB12 $. Anything, right? So what is the first character in the string? See here, what is the first character in the string? A. So this A is assigned to which variable? CH. This A is assigned to which variable here? CH. Okay. Then I have to check. Is it this character is alphabet or not? Then I'm saying character is greater than or equal to A, and character is less than or equal to what? Z. Okay. Now, if the input character is in lowercase, if input character is in lowercase, or character is greater than or equal to A, and character is less than or equal to what? Z. Okay. If the input character is in which case here? Uppercase. So input character is in lowercase or input character is in which one? Uppercase. Then count 1. Count 1 plus equal to 1. Because it is which one? Alphabet. Okay. Else if character is greater than or equal to 0, and character is less than or equal to what? 9. Then it is a count to 2 plus 1. If it is not alphabet, it is not digit, then what it is? Special character. So else you don't require to check the condition. So outside the for loop, you are writing what you are writing alphabet count. So how many alphabets are there? C1 and print digit count. So this is a digit count, digits count. So I'm trying to print C2 and print special character count. Okay, special character count. I'm trying to print what here? C3. So I'm trying to print alphabet count, digits count, and special character count. Now, once you run this, enter any string. Okay, $1 to percentage. Okay, BC. Now I've written like this. Now, how many alphabets are there? 1, 2, 3. And how many special characters? 2. How many digits here? 2. So you can see alphabets are 3 and digits are 2 and special characters are 2. Okay. But how you read individual values from the string? You read individual values or the characters from the string by using which one here? For loop. So for loop is used for iterating. For loop is used for iterating, okay, from iterating from reading from collections, reading from collections. Okay. Yes. This is another example just to understand how this for loop works. Okay. Suppose if you want to execute a for loop number of times, if you want to execute a for loop number of times, I want to write a for loop which should be executed 10 times. I want the for loop which should be executed 5 times. Getting on? Suppose I want to write a program to print a message hello 5 times. I want to write a program to print a message hello 5 times. To print a message 5 times means I want to repeat this print statement. I want to repeat this print statement how many times? 5 times. But I want to repeat it using which loop? For loop. I want to repeat it using which one? For loop. Then how can I repeat a for loop number of times? Suppose if it is a C language, if you are working with a C language, you can write like this, right? In C language, how you write the for loop? You write the for loop like this. For I equal to 1 in C language. In C language, I equal to 1, I is less than or equal to what? 5. I equal to 1, I is less than or equal to 5, I plus plus like this. This is in what? C language. But in Python, can you write like this? No. This is in C language. You write this in C, C++, as well as in Java, right? But can I write the same syntax in Python? No, I cannot write it. What is the syntax of for loop in Python? Syntax of for loop in Python is for variable in what here? Iterable or what is that? Collection, and include the statements. Okay, but here I is 1. 1 is less than or equal to 5. Yes. Then here I'll write printf something called hello. So it will print this hello how many times here? 5 times, because it will execute until this condition is true. When the condition is a false, it will stop. It will repeat this until the condition is true. When the condition is a false, it will stop. Getting on? But here, now for variable and iterable or collection, so I want this for loop to be executed how many times? Number of times. Then Then you take the help of one more data type. You take the help of a data type which is called as range. You take the help of one data type called which one? Range. Range is a range data type. Okay. What is the data type you are using here? Range. Range data type. So in Python 2 version, it is called as XRange. In Python 2, it is called XRange. But in Python 3, it is called what? Range. In Python 2, it is called XRange. In Python 3, it is changed to what? Range. But both are same. In Python 2, XRange. In Python 3, it is what? Range. The name itself, range. Generally, it is used in statistics, right? Range for generating what? Sequence of values, range of values. I want to generate values from 10 to 100. I want to generate values from 10 to 100. I want to generate values from 1 to 10. I want to generate values from 100 to 1. How can I generate all these values? How can I generate all these values? I can generate all these values by using which data type? Range. So range data type. Range is which data type? Sequence data type. Range is a which data type here? Sequence data type. It is a sequence data type. Range is an immutable sequence. Okay, range is an immutable. Range is an immutable sequence. I'm saying range is an immutable sequence. Immutable means you cannot do any changes after creation, right? So range is an immutable sequence which is used to generate what? Sequence of what? Integers. If you want to generate the sequence of integers, you can generate it by using which data type? Range data type. Range data type. You can say range is an iterable. Range is what here? Iterable. Iterable which allows to read. It is a iterable which allows to read or generate. We generate one or more than one value. We generate one or more than one value. Now, according to Python definition, if you see Python definition of range, it is like this. If you see the Python definition of range, it is like this. So range class, it is a range class or range data type. Now, if you see this range, this is Python definition. Okay, this is a Python definition. The range data type or the range type represents immutable sequence of numbers and is commonly used. See there, the range type represent immutable sequence. The range type represent immutable sequence. The range type represent immutable sequence of numbers and is commonly used for looping a specific number of times in what? For loops. If you want to execute a for loop, specific number of times, generally I go for which one here? Range. But actually range is used for generating what? Range is used for generating what? Numbers. Range is actually used for generating what? Numbers. Suppose if range is generate 10 numbers, for loop is execute how many times? 10 times. If the range generates 100 numbers, then for loop is execute how many times? 100 times. If the range generates 10 numbers, then for loop is executed 10 times. If the range generates 100 numbers, then for loop is executed 100 times. But actually range is for generating the sequence of numbers. Okay. Now what is the syntax of range here? See, whenever you are talking about range, generally what range is having? Range is having what here? start value. For example, I want to generate range of values like from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to generate values from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8, 9, 9, 10. So when you're talking about range is having which one here? Start. Range is having which one? Start. And range is having stop. Range is having a start and range is having stop and range is having difference. What is the difference between the each value? Cumulative difference. So what is the difference between 1 and 2? 1. Okay, 1. What is the difference between each value here? 1. So 1. 1 plus 1 is a 2. 2 plus 1 is a 3. 3 plus 1 is a 4. 4 plus 1 is a 5. 5 plus 1 is a 6. 6 plus 1 is a 7. 7 plus 1 is a 8. 8 plus 1 is a 9. 9 plus 1 is a 10. And this difference, you call it as what here? Step. This difference is called as which one here? Step. What is the difference between each value? 1. So is it incrementing or decrementing? Increment. Suppose if I want to generate values from 10 to 1. So 10, 9, 8, 7. Okay, I want to generate like this. Okay, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then what is the start here? What is the start here? 10. What is the stop here? 1. What is the step here? Is it incrementing or decrementing? Decrementing. So step is what? Minus 1. So 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. Like this. Suppose I want to generate like this. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, 12. Okay, 14. Okay, 14, 16. And then 18. And then what here? 20. What is the start here? What is the start here? 2. The start is a 2. And what is the stop here? 20. Then what is the difference between values? What is the difference between value? Okay, 2. So 2. 2 plus 2 is a 4. 4 plus 2 is a 6. 6 plus 2 is a 8. 8 plus 2 is a 10. Okay, so range required how many inputs here? 3 inputs. One is a starting value, ending value, and difference. Starting value, ending value, and difference. You required 3 values. You required how many values here? 3 values. Okay. So range, if you see the syntax of range, how it is, if you see the syntax of range, how it is, 2 syntaxes are there. There is a syntax 1 and there is a syntax 2. 2 syntaxes are there. One is a syntax 1. The other one is what? Syntax 2. You are saying range, it followed by stop. And there is another syntax where you are saying range, it followed by start, stop. And there is a default step is what here? 1. So syntax 1 is there and syntax 2 is there. Now, if you see the syntax 1, where you are saying range, it followed by stop. Now, this syntax is used, the syntax is used to generate a range of positive numbers. Okay, range of positive numbers. Numbers means it is only of which type? Integers. Okay, it is only of which type here? Integers. I cannot create a range of float values. I cannot say 1.1, 2.1, 3.1. No, I cannot generate sequence of floats. Using range, I can able to generate which type of values? Integer values. But in this syntax, you are giving only which value? Star value. Okay, this syntax, the syntax, the syntax required only which value? Star value. So the default start value, because you have not given start rate. If you don't give the start value, the default start value is 0. The default start value is what? 0. It starts from where? 0. And the default step value is 1. 1 means plus 1 or 1. So because you are giving only which value? Stop value. But here stop is not included. Okay, stop value is not included. Stop value is not included. Means stop is excluded. Means if I give stop is 10, is it 10 is generated? No. 10 minus 1 means it will generate up to what? 9. So stop is not included. Stop is what here? Excluded. Stop is not included. Stop is what? Excluded. Stop is not included. Stop is what? Excluded. Okay. Yes. So what will happen in this case is, for example, oh, okay. So in this syntax, what will happen is, if I'm writing some range, okay, range, if I'm writing some 10, I said range 10. What is 10 here? What is 10 here? What is 10 here? Stop. 10 is a stop. Then what is a start? What is a start? 1. What is a step? 1. Start is a 1 and step is also 1. Sorry. Start is what here? 0. Start is a 0. Start is a 0 and step is a 1. So what will happen? This range will generate values from 0 onwards. Okay, 0. 0 plus 1 is a 1. 1 plus 1 is a 2. 2 plus 1 is a 3. 3 plus 1 is a 4. 4 plus 1 is a 5. 5 plus 1 is a 6. 6 plus 1 is a 7. 7 plus 1 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So always the start is less than stop. Start is less than what here? Stop. Less than, not equal. Okay, less than stop means it will not generate 10. It will not generate 10. So 10 is excluded. 10 is not included. So how many? 0 to 9 it generates. 0 to 9. Okay. So 10 is not included. Now this is used to generate only positive integers but not negative integers. Only positive integers but not negative integers. So in this case, yes. So stop is not included. Okay, stop is excluded. So how can I work with this? For example, now this is a for loop. So this is a for loop. So yes, suppose write a program to generate 0 to 10 numbers. 0 to 10 numbers. I want to generate a sequence of numbers from 0 to 10. Tell me for, I'm writing like this, for what is the name of the variable is n. Any variable name you take. Okay. What is the name of this variable? N. For n in, what I'm saying here, range. Okay, range. Now tell me what is a stop? What is a stop? 10 or 11? 11. What is the stop here? 11. Why 11? Because I want from 0 to 10. Is it 11 is included or excluded? Excluded. Okay, 11 is included or excluded? Excluded. So what will happen? It will generate. Range will generate 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What is the first value in the range? 0. 0 is assigned to what? N. 0 is assigned to n. What is the value of n? 0. Then read the next value. What is the next value? 1. 1 is assigned to what? N. What is the value of n? 1. Take the next value, 2. 2 is assigned to what? N. What is the n value? 2. Read the third value, 3. 3 is assigned to what? N. What is the value of n? 3. Read the next value, 4. 4 is assigned to what? N. So how many times this for loop is executed? How many times? 0 to 10 means how many times? 11 times. How many times it execute here? 11 times. 11 times it execute this for loop. You can see 0, 1, 2, 3 up to what? 10. Suppose assume that I want in the same line, okay? So I just write here END. So generated how many values? 0 to 10. But this syntax allows only stop value. The syntax allows only which value? Stop value. Okay, so this is generate all the values from 0 to 10. Now this is very much useful when you're working with arrays for generating indexes. When you're working with arrays for generating indexes, no problem. No problem. No problem. Because it's not having house. Okay. ఆయనకి ఇల్లు లేదు ఏం లేదు అందుకోసం క్లాసులో నిద్రపోతున్నాడు అన్నట్టు. ఓకే. Don't disturb. Why are you disturbing here? Oh God. What here? Huh? తెలుగు హిందీ తెలుగు ఆ కుర్చీ కింద పడేసినా నువ్వు లేవలే. ఏం జరుగుతుంది ఇక్కడ? ఏమి రాత్రంతా ఏమైంది? హ్యాంగ్ ఓవరా? మరేంటి? ముందే నేను లేట్ వచ్చిన. మరి ఇంకేంది? ఎంత పిలిచినా నువ్వు వలుకుతలేవు. అందరు పిలిచినారు తెలుసా? లాస్ట్గా ఆ కుర్చీ పడేస్తే అది కూడా లేవలే ఫస్ట్ టైం. గట్టిగా అంటే లేచింది అది. వాట్ ఇస్ దిస్ హియర్? వెళ్ళిపోండి వెళ్ళిపోండి ఎందుకంటే వేస్ట్. రేపు రండి మండే. విల్ సీ ఆన్ మండే. No, please. I don't want. Arey, you have to sleep in the, your hostel is there, your house is there, your bedroom is there. Huh? 4,000 ఇచ్చి క్లాస్ రూమ్ లో నిద్రపోతావా? You paid for this, huh? Learning Python or for sleeping? Okay. Okay, right. Now this is how you are trying to generate. Okay. So this will execute. Now this for loop is execute how many times? 11 times, because I said range of what here? 11. So 11 is not included, right? 11 is not included. So it generates the values from 0 to 10 only, right? Suppose I want to write a program to print a message, Python. I want to print a message, Python message, I want to print it. Python, okay, print a message Python 5 times. 5 times I want to print it. So what I should write here for any variable, some x in what range of, can I write 5? Can I write 5? 5 means how many values it generates? How many values? Array. If it is 5, how many values generates? 4 values, 5 values. 5 values. Start is what? 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. But 5 is included. No. So how many values? 5 values. Then for loop is executed how many times? This for loop is executed how many times? 5 times. This for loop is executed how many times? 5 times. What is the first value in the range? 0. Print Python. What is the next value in the range? 1. Print Python. What is the next x value? 2. Print what? Python. What is the next x value? 3. Print what? Python. What is the next x value? 4. Then print what? Python. So it will print Python how many times here? 5 times. But I can use this for generating only positives. Now you can see Python. So 5 times. Now if you want to execute a for loop number of times, you take the help of which one? Range. You take the help of range. You take the help of range. Okay, if you want to execute for loop number of times, you take the help of range, right? Now just see here. This is how it is. There is one more syntax is there. There is a syntax 2, and syntax 2, it receives, okay, syntax 2 receive both start value, stop value, as well as what? Step value. But syntax 1 is only for positive integers. But syntax 2, I can use it for generating positive as well as what? Negative. Now here, now this syntax is used. The syntax is used. The syntax is used for generating sequence of positive integers or negative integers. Positive integers or negative integers. So here one rule is there. So generally, okay, generally if the step is, if step is positive, so if step is positive, then start must be less than which one? Stop. If step is negative, start is greater than what here? Stop. Okay. If the step is positive, the start is less than stop. Means, for example, I want to generate from 1 to 10. 1 to 10. Start is less than what here? Stop. You are incrementing or decrementing? Incrementing. Okay. Then step is what here? Positive. Suppose I say no, if the step is positive, the start must be less than stop. Start must be less than stop. For example, I'm saying minus 10. I want to generate from minus 10 to what? Minus 1. I want to generate from minus 10 to what? Minus 1. So minus 10 is less than minus 1 or not? Yes. Then step should be positive or negative? Positive. So minus 10 plus 1 is minus 9. Plus 1 is minus 8. Plus 1 is minus like that. Okay. Suppose if the step is negative, the start must be greater than stop. I want to generate from 10 to 1. I want to generate from 10 to 1. Then step should be what here? Negative. So 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 1 is 8. 8 minus 1 is 7. 7 minus 1 is like that. I want to generate from minus 1 to minus 10. I want to generate from minus 1 to what? Minus 10. So minus 1 plus minus 1. Minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6. So up to what here? Minus 10. So if the step is positive, the start is less than what here? Stop. If the step is negative, the start must be greater than what? Stop. Okay, now you have to follow this rule. Whenever you create a range, you want to generate values from where? Okay, ascending or descending? Ascending or descending? Okay. Okay, in increment order or decrement order? You want to create a range in increment order or what? Decrement order. If you want in increment order, okay, then step should be what here? Like greater than. Start is greater than stop. The step should be positive. Sorry, less than stop. Then step should be positive. If it is negative, then start is greater than which one? Stop. Okay. So that is nothing but 10 to 1, 1 to 10. Decrement order, increment order, right? Yes. So based on that, you have to choose which value your step. But default step in this case is 1. What is the default step in this case is 1. You can see now, just try to see here. I'm creating a range. I can create a range like this. Okay, I can say R1 equal to range. I'm creating which object here? Range object. Like this also can write. Or I can write directly for variable name. For some n in range. What I'm giving start. Starts with what here? 1. Stop at what here? 11. What is the default step? 1. What is the default step? 1. Is default step is positive or negative? Positive. If the step is positive, the start must be less than what? Stop. Is it 1 is less than 11 or not? Yes. Okay. Then this will generate how many values? 10 values. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9, 10. So if I say print n, will it print all the values from 1 to 10 or not? Yes. It will print all the values from 1 to 10. You can see all the values generated from 1 to 10. Now, assume that I want to print values. Tell me. You tell me for n in range of, I want to generate values from 10 to 1. What is the start? What is the start? Tell me, what is the start? I want to generate from 10 to 1. What is the start? 10. What is the stop? What is the stop? 0. What is the stop? 0. Then is it decrement or not? Yes. What is the step? Minus 1. What is the step here? Minus 1. So what will happen? 10. 10 minus 1 is a 9. 9 minus 1 is a 8. 8 minus 1 is a 7. 7 minus 1 is a 6. 6 minus 1 is a 5. 5 minus 1 is a 4. 4 minus 1 is a 3. 3 minus 1 is a 2. 2 minus 1 is a 1. But 0 is included? No. So I print n. Yes. So this will generate values from 10 to 1. Suppose assume that, now tell me, I want to generate for n in a range of, I want to generate values from minus 1 to minus 10. I want to generate values from minus 1 to minus 10. What is the start? Minus 1. What is the stop? Minus 11. What is the step? Minus 1. What is the step here? Minus 1. What is the step here? Minus 1. Okay. Yes. Now this will generate values from minus 1, minus 2, okay, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, minus 6, minus 7, minus 8. This range will generate minus 9, minus 10. So print, you are trying to print the value. Suppose I want to generate values from minus 10 to minus 1. Tell me, for n in range of minus 10, I want to generate from minus 10 to minus 1. Minus 10 comma start is minus 10. I want to start from minus 10, right? Minus 10 comma 0. Minus 10 comma 0. Then what is the step? 1 only, right? Default step is 1. I don't require to give step. Okay, now. So then print which value? N value. Okay. Now you can see generated. Minus 1 to minus 10. Minus 10 to minus 1. 10 to 1. 1 to 10. So generating positive range as well as what? Negative range. Minus 10, minus 9, minus 8, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1. Okay. Yes. So this is generating positive and negative ranges. But for that, okay, for that, I take the help of syntax 2. So there are two syntaxes I said. There is a syntax 1. There are two syntaxes I said. There is a syntax 1. And there is also another syntax, that is a syntax 2, which is for generating both positive as well as what? Negative. For example, okay, now tell me, I want to write a range. I want to write a for loop. We should generate alphabets from A to Z. I want to generate alphabets from A to Z using for loop. Now tell me, I want to generate alphabets from A to Z using for loop. For n in, what is this? Range of, start from where? What is 65 comma 91? 65 comma 91 comma 1. But anyway, default step is 1 only, right? Okay. Then print what? N value or character of n value? Character of n value. ASCII values. This is which one? ASCII values. Now, this will generate all alphabets from A to Z or not? Yes. You can see all the alphabets from A to Z. If I want in lowercase, tell me I want in lowercase. For n in, what should I write here? 97 to 122. Anyway, default is 1 only, right? Default is 1. What is the default step here? 1 only. You can see, but what I have to print? Character. I have to print which value? Character value. You can see from small a to what? Y 122 should be included, right? So small a to what here? Z. That is the alphabets in lowercase and alphabets in what here? Uppercase. So this is alphabets. This is just to understand, right? In uppercase, and this is alphabets in which one? Lowercase. But I cannot use a range for generating. Okay, I cannot use a range for generating. I cannot use a range for generating sequence of floats. I cannot write like this. For range, for x in range of, I cannot write some 1.0 comma 10.0. I cannot write like this. No, you can join, no problem. I cannot write like this 1.0, 10.0. Can I write like this? No, I cannot write like this because range allows only which type? Integer type. Range allows only which type here? Integer type. So immediately it is given what? Error. Float object cannot be interpreted as what? Integer. Float object cannot be interpreted as which one? Integer. No. Because I can use this only for generating sequence of what? Integers. I can use it only for generating the sequence of integers. But I cannot use it for generating the sequence of floats. Okay, now? Yes. So just try to remember this. Okay. So this is generates what here? Error. So this is a type error. So the output is what here? Error. This is which error? Type error. Output is error. As a type error, you cannot generate the sequence of this. Okay. But let us see more on this, like how to work with the range and other things in the next class. That is on Monday, we'll see this, how to work with the range in detail. Okay, because range is one of the important data type. And even you should know how to work with the which loop? For loop. Okay, now we'll see more on that. For loop as well as range. Okay, but for loop is taking the help of which one? Range. For loop is taking the help of which one? Range to execute number of times. For loop is taking the help of range to execute or to repeat number of times. If the range generates 100 values, for loop is executed 100 times. If the range generates 10 values, for loop is executed 10 times. Okay, now? Yes. So let us see more on this, like how to work with the for loop on Monday, but just go through all these things, right? Thank you. We'll see you on Monday. Right. Yes. 80% of all. తీసుకోండి అడ్మిన్ అడగండి ఇస్తారు లింక్ ల్యాబ్ ఇది రిలయన్స్ ఫ్రెష్ ఉంది కదా అమ్మవారి టెంపుల్ ఉంది కదా ఆ గల్లీ పైన 4th ఫ్లోర్